The soleus muscle that is located in the calf, even though it's only 1% of your body weight, can do big things to improve the metabolic health in the rest of your body, as long as it's activated correctly. And soleus push-ups are going to look like this. Basically, they are your seated calf raises, which have gotten a lot of attention since a new study shows us that this little movement could have profound benefits in the body that this video is going to look at. We'll break down the science of why this works, how to properly do them, as well as how often you should do them to get the most benefits. So definitely stay with me till the end. Also, real quick before we get started, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and turn the bell on next to it to stay up to date with new weekly videos. Now, we all know that there's extensive research which has already linked hours spent sitting down with increased all-cause mortality. Some have gone as far as saying sitting is the new smoking. And for many of us, a sedentary lifestyle can be unavoidable due to our jobs and other responsibilities we have. But if we can cut our post-meal glucose by half, lower hyperinsulinemia, which is having very high insulin in the blood, and improve lipid metabolism, who wouldn't want to take advantage of these calf push-ups? But let's analyze the calf muscles real quick to get a better understanding of what's going on. You see, our calf is made up of two major muscles, the soleus and the gastrocnemius, with the soleus being the smaller of the two. The gastrocnemius is composed mainly of fast twitch muscle fibers, which are useful in explosive movements such as sprinting and jumping. In contrast to this though, the soleus consists of fatigue-resistant, slow twitch muscle fibers that allows you to stand, walk, and run for long periods of time. Now, someone might ask, can't you do these push-ups while standing up? No, since the standing calf raises target the gastrocnemius. Seated calf raises are more effective at isolating the soleus. And something unique about the soleus is that unlike most muscles, which use stored carbs like glycogen for fuel, the soleus uses a mixture of other fuels, including glucose and fat, for energy. So because there's a lower reliance on glycogen itself, it helps it work for hours without exhaustion, which is actually amazing news because if you're looking for a very low intensity, low impact activity that'll increase your metabolism, soleus push-ups are a great solution since you won't become sore when doing them. Looking at the study though, I did find a major caveat to this though. The benefits you're told you can achieve can be met if you're willing to do it for hours at a time. The study did show an improvement in glucose response after 1 hour of soleus push-ups, but it's unclear that the effect would be there if you stopped it after 30 minutes. That would be another interesting study to see if they compared 30-minute time frame. The main study though, which came out of the University of Houston, looked at soleus push-ups over 270 minutes, which is about 4.5 hours of this exercise. They did this with a 2 to 5 minute break each half hour, which considering the average Joe sits around 9 hours a day, you technically do have enough time to test out the same results as the study did. And they were able to ultimately find all this out by putting a group of 25 study participants through two different experiments, right? In the first, sedentary people performed the soleus push-ups for up to 4.5 hours, and then they used a muscle biopsy and confirmed the soleus was using glucose and fat for energy. In the second one, they split into two groups. Both the groups chugged the glucose drink, but one was sedentary while the other did the soleus push-ups. Soleus push-ups doubled the normal rate of fat metabolism in the fasting period between meals, reducing levels of triglycerides in the blood. The soleus push-up group also experienced a decrease in blood glucose by 52% and insulin reduced by 60%, which is all really fascinating since theoretically you can turn your Netflix binges into the healthiest part of your day as long as you're doing these kind of push-ups. Now let's take a look at how it's supposed to be done correctly. There are 3 steps. First, sit with your feet flat on the floor at hip width level. Secondly, raise your heel while keeping your toes planted on the floor. And third, when your heel reaches the top of its range of motion, wait a second and passively release your foot to come back down and then repeat it. And the good news is you can do this any place you know you'll be sitting for long periods of time. If you're binge watching a lot of TV, which let's keep it real, no one watches TV anymore. If you're the passenger on long commute or flight, or you're at your desk job, since these muscles don't get tired because they don't rely on glycogen for fuel as much as most muscles do, you could try incorporating them in those times. Now, interestingly, the skeptics of this would say the study was performed in a tightly controlled laboratory environment, which is not the same as people performing these push-ups at their work desks in a free living environment. But I would say, if you're able to do them, then why not do them? The benefits do outweigh the risks since it is relatively safe and low risk for most people when performed correctly. Those who should avoid or exercise caution when doing them are those with joint problems, pain in the knees or ankles, or just have unmanaged high blood pressure. Then you might want to hold off on them or see if the benefits outweigh the risks.
But the real winner here, the real hero of the story, weren't the research subjects. It's not a behavior that people are doing. It's rather that the human body has something in it all along that has preserved the ability to work for hours endlessly without fatigue, and it does so by using a different fuel mixture. And now we can open up the door for helping all kinds of processes, some of them that I haven't even begun to study.
I'm more curious to actually hear from you guys though. Really curious to see what your opinions are on Soleus push-ups. Would love to read them down below. In the meantime, guys, click the video I made here on collagen supplements, and I'll see you on the next one.